and you got a lot of followers on Twitter that support you. After I'm sure the Danny Jones podcast, I'm sure that a lot of people were listening to your story. And
yeah, I mean, it's yes and no. I mean, I still have the medical board that I'm dealing with. Methodist Hospital just sued me, so there's still a lot of drama, unfortunately. But I have hope. There's actually a lawsuit today that's first jury trial in the country over these hospital protocols, where they had a young woman with Down syndrome. They basically euthanized her. They gave her a DNR order, even though she didn't have one. And the father has just been wonderful. It's a Shara family. And
why did they do that? They euthanized her for what?
I've seen this. I have reviewed records from these hospital patients, and they'll euthanize them. They need the bed. They say, well, they're going to die anyway.
What was this person in the hospital for?
COVID protocol. So,
and they wait. So they were in the hospital with COVID, and they gave them something to kill them?
Yeah, that happened. I'm sorry, but that happened. People, they give them morphine and insulin.
What?
Yeah.
That's common?
Yeah. I've reviewed charts. In this situation, they gave her a DNR, which is do not resuscitate, meaning if they look like they're dying, you don't do anything, which that was not the case. So they're suing for battery, which is one way of getting around the PrEP Act, because the PrEP Act is very hard to penetrate. The PrEP Act protects everybody, all the doctors, all the hospitals from any wrongdoing during COVID. So it's been this big challenge trying to get around the PrEP Act. In this case, has hope of getting around the PrEP Act because they're charging for battery, and they're in trial. It started today. It's in Wisconsin. So that gives me hope. I don't know if you've heard of Brooke Jackson, her case. She sued Pfizer. She was a whistleblower, so she was one of the heads of the research clinics, and she was in charge of overseeing the protocols, and she found that they were skipping necessary steps. They weren't following up with injuries. She basically became a whistleblower, and then they immediately fired her, and now she's suing Pfizer. But this has been going on, since 2020, and the DOJ, unfortunately, has stepped in and tried to shut down the case, which normally the DOJ comes in and helps people when they're trying to, sort out this is a key TAM case, and it could bankrupt Pfizer, but now our own government, and even this is under Pam Bondi, so this is the new DOJ, is coming in to stop this case from happening, which is bothersome. But these two cases
what is their
are huge.
argument for why they're trying to stop?
Because it would impact public health policies. It would go against our country's public health policies by proceeding with this case and letting it go to trial.
How so?
I don't know. That is basically what they said.
Have you tried to steel man what they're saying?
I mean, I'm not. It's not my case, and I don't. The lawyer would probably have a better explanation. But it's just met with so many roadblocks. But
the euthanizing one is still stuck in my head. I can't imagine that's real.
No. It is definitely real. I mean,
so it's when they've determined that someone's going to die anyway. Is that what it is?
Right. I mean, they'll justify giving morphine because they'll say, oh, well, they're struggling to breathe. Well, guess what? Morphine actually depresses your drive to breathe. But like this one case I remember, this patient, he was sick. He looked like he was dying, but they just pushed morphine. He had no pain. They do a pain score, so 0 to 10. This guy had 0 pain. And then they pushed insulin to drop his sugar, and his glucose was fine. And then he died 3 minutes later. And I turned him into the medical board. I reviewed this chart and turned him in the medical board. Nothing. They didn't do anything. But yeah, that definitely went on during COVID.
Jesus. That is such a terrifying thought that someone would just decide